Good morning, students, and welcome to my first class. So, as I said earlier, I will teach you the first two units of the paper, electricity and magnetism, and here I will start the second unit. First unit is only some essential mathematics required to study the subject. Those mathematics you have already studied in your allied maths paper. So you already learned those topics. Anyway, I will teach the first unit also towards the end of the course. So second unit I have copied and pasted in the first part of the notes. These notes I will be sending to you after my lecture. And when you go through this unit 2, which is pasted here, you can see that all the words are familiar to you. This is because you have already studied this at a plus 2 class. Only very little is you are studying extra in college. But anyway, I will not assume that you know all these things because you are coming from different schools. So anyway, I am going to teach you all the things uh, uh, in this semester, and about electricity and magnetism. I want to tell you that this is the most well studied topic in physics, and it contains one of the greatest discovery in physics, and that discovery is the discovery of electromagnetic waves by Maxwell. That was long back in 1860. Maxwell predicted that velocity of electromagnetic wave is 1 by square root of mu 0 epsilon 0. So when you calculate that, you will get the value as 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, which is the familiar velocity of light. And Maxwell at that time claimed that light is an electromagnetic wave. It is an oscillation in electric and magnetic fields. Later it was proved that light is an electromagnetic wave. Not only light, a large number of electromagnetic waves are there. It is called electromagnetic spectrum. And the longest wavelength electromagnetic wave is called a radio wave. And the shortest one is called gamma radiation, which are nuclear radiations. All are electromagnetic waves. All travel with speed 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. And that discovery of Maxwell was the greatest discovery in physics. Anyway, we start the course with electrostatics. Electrostatics is the study of electric charges which are at rest. Static means something which is in equilibrium or which is at a rest. When charges are moving, we will get a current. So current electricity will be separately studied, and in electrostatics we study charges which are at rest. And in electrostatics, the first thing we study is the basic law of electrostatics, that is called Coulomb's law. And according to Coulomb's law, there is a force between two charges that is proportional to product of charges, and inversely the inversely proportional to the distance between the charges. So F is proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance. This type of law we come across in gravitation also, and these both of these laws are called inverse square laws, because force decreases with R, and it is inversely proportional to r square, and this is the proportionality constant of the corresponding equation, and that proportionality constant will depend upon the unit which you are expressing the equation. Nowadays everybody uses SI system of units. So in that SI system of units, the value of constant is written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, with epsilon 0 is equal to 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. This is farad per meter. Farad is the unit of capacitance. Uh, I will later explain why this epsilon 0 is farad per meter. It is not difficult, but this is the usually epsilon 0 is expressed in farad per meter. Of course, it can be expressed coulomb square, meter square, and all, but this is considered to be simplest unit, and usually in books you will find this. You may be wondering what is this 4 pi business here. Uh, Actually, this 4 pi is put here in order to simplify future equations. Actually, if you put 4 pi here, then so many 4 pi's in future equations can be avoided. That is the reason for taking this constant to be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 in SI system of units. A similar thing is there in magnetism also, on mu 0 by 4 pi. There also 4 pi is there. So these 4 pi's are put in the basic equations in order to simplify many several future equations. So you can avoid several 4 pi's in future. This is similar to what we do in simple harmonic motion. There we take some constant as omega square in the differential equation. D square x by dt square is equal to minus omega square x. So we deliberately put omega square there, so that so many square roots are avoided in the other equations. And this epsilon 0 is called the permittivity of the free space. Actually, this force law is true when the medium is free space for air or vacuum. For all these media, the epsilon 0 is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad per meter. That is for free space, which is vacuum. For air also, for air epsilon 0 is not much different from the uh, value value of vacuum. But in a different medium, it will be different. For example, in water or in some other medium, the force will be different from that in vacuum. In that case, we consider epsilon as the permittivity of the medium. So instead of epsilon 0, we have to use epsilon there if the charges are kept in a medium. Another useful quantity is called relative permittivity, which is permittivity of the medium by permittivity of the vacuum. That is called relative permittivity. It is also called dielectric constant. That is in the context of capacitors. At that time, I will discuss that also. So this quantity, relative permittivity, is also called a dielectric constant, and we can write epsilon as epsilon 0 into epsilon r. So in books you will find that expression epsilon 0 epsilon r combined. That is nothing but epsilon. So we may write the Coulomb's law in a medium as 1 by 4 pi force between two charges, q1 q2 by r square into 1 by 4 pi epsilon, which is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 epsilon r into q1 q2 by r square. And you know that there are two types of charges, positive charges and negative charges, and like charges will repel and unlike charges will attract. That's all for the first class. I will continue in the next class.